inconsistent nacho earrings. Also, missing braces.
Not today! Not today!
They've presumably been driving around town for a while and just noticed the Pioneer Day stuff. Part of Stan's glasses disappear.
In Gravity Falls, it used to be legal to marry woodpeckers.
Oh, it's still legal.
Come one and all for the opening ceremonies.
Who said that? The microphone teleports.
Oh no! Police! My purse!
Ring, 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 ring!
Why are these two in charge of the super important mission? They're literally the worst police ever.
I don't know, Mabel. Isn't that girl kind of like your arch enemy?
I know, right? And you just met her the other day, too.
Are you always this silly?
Yes, and it's why we love you. The statue changes direction.
Hey, nice outfit, Gideon. You actually look less girly than usual.
And like he's in the 1700s. For some reason. Dipper's shoes are solid black. Mabel's blush is missing.
I gotta investigate this.
Wait! I'm coming with you.
Like you wouldn't? Mabel's braces disappear here and here. She looks so wrong without her sweater.
Wait, Mabel, you folded it into a map.
Good thing she folded it so it lines up perfectly. How big is this town? Like 100 people tops? I lived in a town of 1,000, but we didn't have a history museum.
And those are your free Pioneer Day passes. And your balloons, blue and pink.
I can only ever hear Twilight sparkle when she speaks. Right door open. Left door open.
I think I've seen that statue in the cemetery.
How often do you visit the cemetery, Mabel?
Ha! I did that with my mouth!
So did I. It doesn't quite look the same. How old is this cave? Like, definitely too old to have these tranquilizer darts, right? Let this episode be known as the episode of the missing braces. If you pause and read this whole page, it's freaking hilarious. It's enough for the detail.
Appointed 6 babies to the Supreme Court.
But that was only 4 babies. Dipper's nose changes color.
Calm down. We're just going to escort you and all this stuff back to Washington. You ain't coming back, by the way.
And their parents definitely won't be mad that their children are now in DC for the rest of their lives. Mouth open in cave. Mouth closed in crate. They use this shot of the train twice, just with a different background.
But how?
Peanut brittle really does have life-sustaining properties.
It does not. How big is this crate, anyway? The crate has a roof. Then it doesn't. They climb out of the train on the last car, then suddenly there's a car behind them. Mabel pants with her mouth closed. Watch again. And here begins the trend of the magical hats that don't fall off.
President of these several United States!
But there were 26 states in 1838.
Delightful vacation. Go!
That should be the end of him.
And then he chased me around and spanked me with a paddle for like 3 hours. Bottom line, George Washington was a jerk.
The official GF Wiki confirms this story and says that, quote, decades later, he won the 1937 election. Let's assume that those decades later is 35 years, as you must be 35 to be president. In order to be chased, you have to be able to walk, so let's add 2 years just to be safe. We can now guess that Tremblay was born around 1805. What does all this mean? It means Tremblay and the wiki is lying. It's impossible for Washington to have chased Tremblay around because Washington died in 1799. Even if Tremblay is a little older than 37, he would have to be 6 years older to even be alive when Washington was. Man, you guys better love me for this because it took way too much research to prove. Also, Gravity Falls was founded 17 years before Oregon became a state, and 6 years before the gold rushes that brought the settlers west in the first place. Dang it, I think this episode broke America.
Wow, you really are a sad, dumb little girl.
Can I kill her? But earlier they said...
In 1863, I have never heard tell of a car.
And the first car came out in 1893, and Mabel's headband is missing.
Silly. 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 Silly.
Silliest
Silly. Silly. Silly.
Silliness.
Silliest.
Silliness!
Silly what?
Silly is awesome.